Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you one of those once in a blue moon videos that I sometimes do, where there's not a lot of great information, teachable, whatever. I'm just sharing my excitement over a list that is possible. Um, Couple of apologies first. I'm sorry to the members that this is coming out later. I had a video at first that I was going to put. I scrapped it. I didn't really think that it was the right time for that one yet. Then I did the second one, kind of the same reason. Figured that one could wait. And funny enough, the first one was also Synaptic Nexus, but I didn't didn't vibe with that. And somehow it's just funny how you end up at the exact same spot. Next, sorry if you saw the first video for this. Again, members, I really didn't think that my neighbors would stop the music anytime soon. So uh, we're actually getting a take where you might, or you hopefully don't hear anything in the background as far as that goes. So sorry about those. I put that out just in case it was impossible to record today. So that's all that. And now, with all of that, why are we talking about Synaptic Nexus today? So, first and foremost, I had a problem I was trying to solve with Crusher Stampede. It's looking like it's going to be pretty hard for that to be a good list in the upcoming meta because people are going to be teching for Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights. They came down to T11, but they got a bunch more wounds. And not only does that mean that people are going to bring guns to pop knights, they're going to bring guns that can pop us. And unfortunately, our guns no longer effectively pop them either. Our Tyrannifexes can no longer spike and take out a big knight in one go, unfortunately. So I was trying to figure out, well, what do we do? What's the build looking like for that? Maybe Invones, right? Maybe Invones. What do we have in the way of Invones? We have Maliceptors, Norn Emissaries, Zoes attached to the Neurotyrant. Maybe that's the ankle, and it didn't really land on that. And I've said this before with Synaptic Nexus. It's funny how many times you look down and go, "This could probably just be a Synaptic Nexus build." So after filling that, that didn't work out too well either. Then I was also working on this idea still that I'm trying to figure out with the Psychophage. We have the Psychophage and now boost AP in melee. What could possibly transpire with the Psychophage to, make this melee situation a little bit better? I know some people want to do one thing, maybe another. Is it monsters? Is it infantry? Well, back to the monster issue. Is it infantry? Maybe, I guess it could be. I don't know. There's a lot of things on that one, but I was like, well, hold on. There's a durable brick of infantry that now, if you boost the AP to something like a Hive Tyrant, uh, 10-3-3 actually is pretty decent, right? That works on the Hive Tyrant, and if there's some additional attacks coming on, such as with Tyrant Guard, that's not too bad. So that's where Tyrant Guard got into the mix and putting that into the list and doing something to look down. And you go, hey, this finally can happen. Finally, being I've tried to make this list time and time again, but the points didn't allow for it until now. Thankfully, with so many things coming down, can finally do it. Is it going to be that great? Who knows? But just want to share this thing that I am glad now can exist reasonably. Swarm Lord, Hive Tyrant with Psychostatic Disruption, Neurotyrant with Power of the Hive Mind. A Biovore, because of course, two max bricks of Tyrant Guard for the Hive Tyrant and for the Swarm Lord. And then a max brick of Zoes, because you need some damage somehow, some way to go with the Neurotyrant for the Think Tank. Two Maliceptors, two Norn Emissaries. Whoever's walking who is up to you. So, you have durability in three different ways. We know what all of them do, but I will still go back through. And you actually have damage output. Now, this is where I tell you, hey, this is just what I am glad I can finally fit into a list. If you want to do mission play, first, I don't really know how much can actually go together as far as needing to. due to the new mission pack, I don't think you need a bunch of mission play units so far. That's what I'm currently feeling on that. So Biovore helps as it always does, and then just lets you have some fun past that. But first glance, I think you'd probably drop a Maliceptor first if you want to put, like, of course, Lictors or whatever else in. So there's that. But yeah, Synaptic Nexus, why are we here? So, Tyrant Guard, being attached to the Synapse, can have access the same way that the Maliceptor and Norn Emissary can to Reinforced Hive Node when you're being attacked in the shooting or the fight phase, minus 1 AP until that attacking unit is done. Also, you can have a 5 of Benvuln on the Tyrant Guard either for one turn, thanks to the Synaptic Imperative, or whenever you feel like it with Imperative Dominance, you put it on your command phase. The melee, it's whatever, +1 to hit. You're not really running home for that. That's whatever. Advanced and charge rolls, also whatever. But here for the durability skew of it all, that I'm glad can now exist. Psychostatic Disruption, half points filler, half, well, people are, kind of poking fun at the fact that maybe infiltrators and anti-deep strike things will happen, so other things get blocked out, like subterranean assault. I don't know, maybe throw it on. This psychostatic disruption also has that if somebody tries to come on in the first or second battle round, you can roll a d6 on a 4-up. They can't do it that turn, so that's pretty funny as well. And of course, Power of the Hive Mind to make your Neurotyrant Flamer 6/2/2. That's pretty good, and it's 10 points. But why was I going to talk about Synaptic Nexus anyway today? Well, the hyper-adapted Ravenous solves some issues that I've had with it for a while, which is the issue of distance. Smothering Shadow, we've seen people bring the Parasite of Mortrix and the Dirge of Karis to drop it down, Deep Strike, and then hope for a Battle Shock to be failed. So you can pop this for one command point within a foot, make them roll 66, and each 3-up, your enemy takes some mortal wounds. That's cute, that's cool. I don't find that to be an effective use of 95 points, or I should say 80 points, let alone 95 points. I don't really rate that too much. Then you say, well, you can proc it with the Neurolictor. That's true, but if they're within 12 inches of my Neurolictor, they're within lone up range, which means I can lose my Neurolictor, which I'm not a fan of. So hyper-adaptive Raveners, deep striking, and just being a Synapse unit that is further from others is nice. You can also do that essentially with Broodlord Genestealers, but Broodlord Genestealers in this detachment, yeah, they don't really benefit from much except for the +1 charge, +1 advance for a turn. They are enhancement carriers. If you want to do something like Psychostatic Disruption, Dirge of Karis forward presence, that's what that does, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like an effective use of that. So Hyper-Adaptive Ravener solved that for me. Also, Irresistible Will. Your shooting phase or the fight phase, one Synapse unit from your army, looks at a opponent that's within 2 feet, and visible, cool, until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly Tyranids model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, if the attacking model is within 6 inches of your Synapse unit, not Synapse model, Synapse unit, so reroll a hit roll of 1 and reroll a wound roll of 1. You could argue for a giant brick of this, you could bring 22 Neurogons in the Neurotyrant. I could. I don't rate doing that too much just for this. I might as well do it on something that I would like to be attacking with, and 10-man unit of hyper-adapted Raveners and Raveners that I can string out so that a lot of things can fire into whatever target. That just seems better for me. So that's why Synaptic Nexus is going to be talked about and touched on it a bit. But Psychophage, I was just trying to boost the AP or something and see where I can really make that work. Also having Devastating Wounds, Anti-Psycher 4-up, and then getting reroll wound rolls of 1 with Irresistible Will, excuse me. That's fine. That works. It's still, I don't know. I'm teetering back and forth on the Psychophage. Because one second I like it like a lot. The next minute I'm like, well, I guess if I miss one hit, I miss one wound, and my opponent saves one, that's 6 damage. Hopefully. And maybe a Feel No Pain says, I don't know, it's not, it's cute. It's cute. I'm still on Psychophage how to really do it, but, I'm just like, well, what could I do with these points right now? So that's how we came with the build, and just going back to it for a second, Swarmy, Malign Presence, if your opponent tries to use a stratagem within a foot of them, it costs an additional CP, And at the start of your command phase, if this model is on the battlefield, you gain 1 command point. So, yeah, that's Swarmy. We've seen this brick with the Tyrant Guard before. Neurotyrant we've seen with Zoe's before. If you attach the Neurotyrant to something, that unit gets +1 to hit, and if the target that you're shooting into is Battle Shock, +1 to wound. That's pretty good for the Zoe's guns. Maliceptor, we all know Encephalic Diffusion. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, subtract 1 to hit. If the enemy unit is below half strength, -1 to wound as well. And a Norn, of course. T11, 2-up save, 4-up invuln, 16 wounds, select 1 objective. If you make it there, 5-up feel no pain, and 15 OC. So, and a 4-up feel no pain against mortal wounds. 260 points. Again, Norn emissaries have come down like a while ago. I talked about this last go round or whenever they came down again, but 260 finally came down. Maliceptors, same, right? Zoe's have a unit to attach to make them better. The Neurotyrant, again, pass, but it's very effective now in the present. Very is a stretch, but 4-up invuln keeps them a little bit alive. And again, unfortunately, Psychophage no longer can keep things alive, but we're looking at that to solve. Tyrant Guard, they're just T8, 3-up save, 4 wounds that can have -1 AP on it because a reinforced hive node being attached to the Tyrants. That's fine, that's good. Swarmy is, pretty sick. We like Swarmy. Oh, and to this point, if we're going to keep getting nerfed, like Gladius or like Space Marines, the reason that Reinforced Hive node got nerfed is Arm of Contempt bullshit. They just, again, swept it over. So if they're going to do it to us again with the Hive Tyrant, catching the same nerf that Gilliman did, maybe we might as well try the detachment that they designed to be similar to Gladius Task Force and take something similar. Maybe, they had Rabute Gilliman and Calgar. Maybe it's time for us to bust out Swarm Lord and Hive Tyrant with Tyrant Guard and quote unquote Gladius, even though they just took the WA and broke it up and changed it a little bit across 3 steps. I still think this is stupid. But hey, GW's learning, so we take that. Maybe one day they'll come back to Synaptic Nexus. But it's there, it's that, it's fine, it's durable, think, right? Again, this is just me sharing something I'm glad is finally possible. It came down 50 points between the Hive Tyrant and Swarmy. Psychostatic Disruption keeps people from being in your backline, so I guess to that point you might argue that you don't terribly need Biovores on that one, but, if you decide to move up, you can have just a lot more screened out with Psychostatic Disruption on there. There could be Synaptic Control, but again, if I'm just now at 10 points to spare and the list came down 50 points, yeah, that means that it wasn't really possible. And it's mainly just to still fit a Biovore, because unfortunately, on one hand, it's like, do you need a Biovore? No, but it just makes it a lot easier to play the game, because now I can screw around and make 2 bricks of Tyrant Guard and 6 Zoes somewhat viable. I have a unit for damage, I have several units for durability. Maliceptor can also help with the damage, Irresistible Will. Finally, just make things go pop, and you could just play the game. So, yeah, I just wanted to share a list that I'm happy finally points-wise can fit. That's all this video is. If you want to make it more viable, again, just like probably drop a Maliceptor, 2 Lictors, that's 120. Maybe drop Psychostatic Disruption for, let's see, that gives me, does that give me 80 back? Let's see, I said 170 and minus 120. Yeah, so that gives me 80 back. Maybe, of course, a Neurolictor in here. So, something like that, if you want to actually play the game further on top of that. Just because people love their lictors and whatnot. So, just saying, you can play around with it if you want to try this idea further and do something for real. But it's just nice that you can finally make a pretty decent durability skew that, I don't know, maybe this upcoming meta can survive. This is really, how do I survive everybody trying to kill knights without having things that can kill knights for the most part. So yeah, that's it. That's all. I like it. Hope you like it in some capacity. I don't know. It's up to you. Do you? So yeah. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.